Okay, dear students, thank you all of you for being here. I'm so sorry once again to change the schedule for today class, but something once again came up here today. Well, for today class, we're going to continue working on the present simple tense. For today, we're going to learn how to what in the present simple tense, third person spelling rules, okay? And also the adverbs of frequency. In other words, for today class, I've separated into two different parts. Part number one, the third person spelling rules, and the part number two is going to be the adverbs of frequency. Please let me activate the line of enable the audio transcription. Hopefully you can see the subtitles over here. So in case you don't understand what I'm saying, you can read the subtitles.
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic, Miss Morales. Thank you. Well, guys, it's time to start. Well, as you know, we have been working on the present simple tense for almost 1 week and a few days more, because this tense is a little bit long. The explanation is a bit long, but fortunately, we already know that the present simple tense help us to describe everyday's activities, routines, and also the facts. Then we practice how to put in practice this tense by describing our daily activities. For example, drink coffee, listen to music, take a shower, do homework, and so on. We practice that by using an activity. Remember that you guys wrote the verb a the complement. So for today's class, we're going to carry out something different. We're going to change the subject. So instead of to work with I, we're going to work with the third person. For the better understanding, guys, let me share my screen and you'll see what we're talking about. Okay, give a minute.
Mister, ¿ya compartió el link para registrar la asistencia?
Sure. Okay, I'm going to, yes, that's the link again. I'm sorry, that's the link again. Click on the link and register your attendance. Now I'm going to share my screen for you guys. Okay, that's fantastic. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so in Spanish and the same way in English, we have some kinds of subject in quotation marks. The first one, we call this first person. Then we have second person, and we have third person and plural. Let me use a different font size, 18. Okay, that's perfect. All of these are bold. Good. Okay, so before starting this activity, I want you guys to understand something. Spanish and English, we have these in the grammar part, obviously. First person means primera persona. First person. When we're talking about the first person, that means we're going to use the subject I. Okay, first person means yo, I. That's the first person. Con este sujeto nosotros hemos estado trabajando durante esta última semana, describiendo nuestras actividades diarias, nuestras rutinas en primera persona, first person. So that means the subject or the personal pronoun I, yo. So for example, you can say, I listen to music. Lo estoy describiendo esa actividad en primera persona. Me refiero a mí. I listen to music, or you say, I do homework. You see, I listen to music, I do homework. Well, second person, that means with the subject you, okay? So in the same way, we can say, you dance well. You dance well. So basically, I'm sorry, guys, there you go. You is the second person because it's the older person in front of you, or actually is the person who's listening to you. You se lo considera tú. En inglés no existe usted. Simplemente tú. You. A esto se le considera segunda persona. You. You speak English. ¿Sí? Entonces quedamos que segunda persona, pues es you, y primera persona, el pronombre personal I. Terceras personas es lo que nosotros vamos a estudiar el día de hoy. The third person. Okay? Mr. Carranza, do you remember about the third person spelling rules? ¿A qué nos referimos cuando decimos terceras personas, Mr. Carranza? Any ideas? Hello, can you hear me, Ms. Carranza? Mister? No? Really? You can don't hear me? Okay, give me a minute, please. Parece que tengo otra vez un problema. Can't believe it. Okay, there you go. Mr. Carranza, can you hear me now? ¿Me escucha, señor Carranza Rivas, Alcides? ¿Sí? ¿No?
Sí, 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 le escucho.
No, you cannot hear me. Okay. Antes de iniciar lo que es terceras personas, quisiera que ustedes, por favor, me digan qué entienden cuando hablamos de terceras personas.
Referirse a otra persona. Podría entrar el pronombre she, he, it.
Yes, that's fantastic. That's correct. When we're talking about third person, that means él, ella o eso. Third person. Quiere decir que ya no hablamos ni de su persona, ni de tú, sino de él, de ella o eso. I'm so sorry for the noise. Well, so that is the third person. Él, ella o eso. O sustantivo que lo reemplace. ¿A qué me refiero cuando digo un sustantivo que pueda ser reemplazado? Un sustantivo que puede ser reemplazado terceras personas, pues es he, she, and it. He, she, it. A eso nos referimos cuando hablamos terceras personas, third person. Ok, fantastic. Pero también pueden existir, sorry, too much noise. The person who lives upstairs is building something. Ok. Cuando digo que pueden haber sustantivos que los reemplace, pues en vez de he, pues podemos decir brother, que es hermano y equivale a decir a él. She, well, we can say mother. Or it, we can say, for example, a dog. You see? Y ahora nos vamos a la parte de los plurales. The plural form, pues son los pronombres personales o los sustantivos que los reemplazan, que podría ser we, nosotros, and they, ellos, ellas. So these are considered plural. So guys, for today class, we're going to focus on the third person. Don't forget, third person, he, she, and also it. That's fantastic. Okay, so let me stop this for a while, and I'm going to show you something else. With the third person spelling rule, it should be over here. There we go. Okay, guys, so you tell me, can you see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Okay. That's fantastic. Let's move on. Ok, yo quiero que ustedes recuerden algo muy parecido a lo que practicamos casi al inicio de este módulo, que era la pluralización de los sustantivos. ¿Recuerdan? Que para pluralizar los sustantivos, en otras palabras, transformarlos de singular a plural, recordemos eso, teníamos que aumentarles ciertas cosas, entre esos la letra S, S, IES, remember? Pero eso era a los sustantivos. Aquí va a aparecer algo muy parecido, pero es a los verbos, ¿ok? Estos verbos le vamos a aumentar también los sufijos, S, ES o IES. Y estos van a ser aumentados cuando el sujeto sea tercera persona. You will see what I'm talking about. So that's the reason it's pretty important to understand about the third person singular spelling rules. Okay, over here we have three different examples. Okay, the example number one, I need someone to help me over here. Please, Miss Diana Torres, could you please read the first sentence for me?
Good morning. He watched black and white films at his cinema club on Wednesday.
Okay, perfect.
Continúo.
Kerly Magallanes, please, sentence number two.
Good morning, mister. He thinks cheese is a sport.
Nice. Okay, let me pick up another students. Miss Ruiz Winifred, please, of the last sentence for me.
Dígame, mister.
I want you to read this sentence for me, please.
She loves him.
Okay, thank you. Well, I want you to focus on these verbs. Can you see it? Watches, thinks, and loves. Como usted observa, a estos verbos se le ha aumentado un sufijo. Concentrémonos, por favor, en el verbo número uno, el verbo watch. ¿Qué sufijo se le ha aumentado a este verbo?
S.
Correct. ES o S. Correcto. Al siguiente verbo, el verbo pensar. Think.
Es.
S. Very good. And el verbo amar. Love.
Es.
S. Correct. Entonces, como ustedes pueden notar, el sujeto de estas oraciones son terceras personas. Number one, he. He watches. Number two, he thinks. Number three, she loves. So that means when we explain something or we're talking about another person, we need to be careful. Don't forget, we need to understand to add suffixes to the base form of the verb. Cada vez que demos o describamos una acción en terceras personas, esto quiere decir que vamos a describir la acción de alguien más, su rutina, sus actividades diarias. Si vamos a describir de nuestro papá, de nuestra mamá, de la hermana, del amigo o de una persona que no somos ni nosotros ni la otra persona que está enfrente de nosotros, sino una tercera. No olvidar esto. A los verbos les vamos a añadir sufijos, ¿ok? Like the number one como el uno, él ve, él observa, he watches. Él piensa, he thinks. Ella ama, she loves. So each of these verbs has a suffix. Now, let's continue. Okay, guys, so as you can see, this is the rule number one. If you have a notebook, please grab your notebook and start writing. Si usted tiene un cuaderno, por favor, tome su cuaderno and start writing. Write down. The rule number 1 is about the suffix es. Suffix es. We're going to apply this rule when the verb ends or finished letter O, letters SH, letter X, letter WS, or letter CH. You see? O, SH, X, WS, or CH. This is the rule number 1. For example, go. As you can see, this word finished in the letter O. Go. I go, you go. But when we were in the third person, we need to add the letter S. ES, goes. The next verb, brushed. Si un verbo termina en O, like this one, O, okay, debemos aumentar el sufijo ES cuando hablemos en terceras personas. Lo mismo sucede con verbos que terminan en las letras SH, SH, so the third person, brushes. In the same way, with those verbs, they end in letter CH, so we add the suffix ES, catch, catches. In the same way, when one verb ends in WS, like this one, miss. So in the third person, we add the suffix, misses. And the last example are for the verbs that ends in the letter X, so we add the suffix ES. This is the rule number 1. If you have any question, please let me know it. Question, please.
Mister, la palabra miss, ¿qué significa verbo?
Okay, that's a good question. That's good. Okay, now listen very carefully. This is a very peculiar. Okay, give a minute. Good. Esta palabra miss, pues tiene varios contextos. Okay, where's my camera is off? I'm sorry. Let me share my screen again. I'll show you. That's actually a good question. So the word, there we go. The word miss has different connotation. Okay, they can vary in the context. Miss, okay, miss como sustantivo, pues es señorita. Okay, miss. Okay, I'm sorry. Miss significa señorita. Miss, okay? Miss como verbo, okay, significa extrañar. Extrañar, okay? Entonces usted puede decir en primera persona, I miss you, te extraño. I miss you, okay? Or también se utiliza este verbo miss con lo que es el significado de perder. For example, you can say, I missed the bus. Perdí el bus. I missed the bus, okay? So we have 3 different connotation. Aquí está funcionando en esto de aquí con, puede ser como perder o extrañar. I miss you. Como sustantivo es señorita, miss. Okay, so let's continue with the other explanation. En esta primera parte es la regla número 1 sobre los sufijos aplicado a verbos. Para aplicar este sufijo, debemos tener en cuenta que lo que vamos a describir, la actividad diaria, rutinas, debe ser en tercera persona. Y los verbos deben terminar en O, como go, SH, como brushed, X, como fix, doble S, como missed, o SH, como catch. So in this case, we can add the suffix es. Rule number 2. Ok, la regla número 2, pues son para aquellos verbos que terminan en Y, pero esta letra, si es precedida por una consonante, pues debemos eliminar y añadir lo siguiente. You see, so we have IES, so we eliminate the letter Y and we add IES. For example, take a look. Study. So this is the letter Y. For the third person, we add the suffix. Study, studies. In the same way, apply, applies. Deny, denies. Fly, flies. Okay, so this is the rule number 2. So let's move on to the next one. Rule number 3. Well, actually, the rule number 3 are for those, for most of the verbs. The rule number 3. Esta regla número 3 es para la mayoría de los verbos. Si trabajamos en terceras personas, describiendo, repito, una rutina, actividad diaria de alguien, tercera persona, pues la mayoría de los verbos simplemente le aumentamos la letra S. Like this one. So we can say make, makes, listen, listens, run, runs, play, plays. Please give a minute. Okay, guys, so don't confuse. The rules are pretty similar, but we need to know and apply in the correct way. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I need to think more about this. Well, esta regla de las terceras personas, pues, es muy parecida a los sustantivos, a la pluralización de los sustantivos. Cada uno pues maneja sus sufijos. En la primera columna, con la que usted ve nouns, que son sustantivos, and these are verbs, que son verbos, ¿ok? Los sufijos son iguales. No confunda, por favor. Una cosa es pluralizar y otra cosa es terceras personas. En estos verbos, perdón, estas palabras como book, watch, box, baby, vote and tomato son sustantivos. En la columna de acá tenemos work, catch, fix, study, play and go. Estos son verbos. Cuando vamos a pluralizar, pues el más común que sabemos es añadiendo la letra S, como esta. Books. Cuando trabajamos con verbos, perdón, los vamos a añadir solamente si el sujeto es terceras personas, como este con este de aquí. You see? Works. Books. Works. La regla es parecida. Verbos que terminan en CH y sustantivos que terminan en CH. Para pluralizar este sustantivo, pues, yo tengo que aumentarle S. Reloj, relojes. Watch, watches. Acá este es un verbo. You see? He catches. Sorry. He catches. In the same way here, box. Box es un sustantivo, significa caja. Si termina en X, pues yo tengo que pluralizar aumentando el sufijo S. Boxes. Lo mismo sucede con un verbo si está en tercera persona. My mother fixes. Third person. In the same way, sustantivos que terminan en Y precedida de una consonante, pues para pluralizar, aplica la regla del verbo, muy parecida, como usted observa, idéntica. So you say baby, babies, pero study es un verbo. So you can say, my sister studies. You see, the rule is the same. Pretty interested. In the same way, boy. Ve la diferencia, también termina en Y, pero esta es precedida de una vocal. Aquí simplemente es la S. Boys. Play ya es un verbo. So we can say, he plays. La regla es la misma. Verbos que terminan en Y, pero es precedida por una vocal, pues a esta simplemente es la letra S. In the same way, tomato termina en O. So we have the word tomatoes. You see? Tomatoes. El verbo go, well, so you can see, she goes. Entonces, no se confundan, por favor. Una cosa es pluralizar sustantivos de singular a plural y otra es los sufijos que se le van a aumentar cuando se trabaja en terceras personas. Okay, guys, so you tell me. Question. Mr. Carranza, ¿alguna pregunta?
No, mister.
Okay. If you have any question, please let me know it. Maybe you have a question.
No, mister.
Okay. Las reglas exactas, muy parecidas, pero no olvide, una es pluralización y la otra son verbos en terceras personas. Okay. So, don't confuse. Parecidísimas las reglas. Y tenemos algo también que se le denomina en plural, que son los sustantivos irregulares. And in English, we don't have that kinds of words. Okay, time to practice. Give a minute. Okay, let's practice. Okay, before continues, okay, I'm sorry. It doesn't work, I think. Please give a minute. Come on. That person. Unbelievable. Okay, so let's move on to the next PowerPoint presentation. I think the video is no good. Let me share again this one. Okay, now I want you to focus on this example. She walks. She walks. Walk, el verbo caminar. As you can see, we have the suffix, the letter S. She walks. Third person spelling rule. This is what I'm talking about. Take a look. It's pretty important to understand when we describe someone's daily activities or routines, do not forget the rules, please, guys. Do not forget the rules. Third person is different. We need to add the suffixes. Remember, S, ES, or the suffix IES on the third person spelling rule in positive sentences. Okay, let me move here. Come on. I'm sorry. Okay, let's practice. Kelly Magallanes, could you please read this exercise for me? Choose that correct option. Kelly Magallanes, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Miss Kelly Magallanes, can you hear me?
Good morning, Mr.
Finally, please stay. Don't go. No se vaya. Quédese ahí.
No, parece que no había escuchado mi nombre en internet. Por eso apagué también mi cámara.
Okay, so Miss, I want you to read this exercise and choose the correct option.
A ver, we watch television every day.
Okay, so let's check it out. Okay, it's no watches. Remember, we use the suffix "s" when we were on the third person. So the subject here is different. It's we. We is not third person. Okay, so let's continue, Miss. Read this exercise again. Please, read again.
He watches TV every day.
No, Miss. I think you ignore class. Pensé que no estaba en clases en antes.
He watches television every day.
Correct. Is watches, no watch. No se vaya. Por eso que tienen apagadas las cámaras. Okay, let's continue. Mr. Jose Lavalle, your turn, please.
We had looked at 12 a.m. o'clock.
Yeah, the correct one is eat. That's perfect. Means comer. In other words, that's the correct way. Okay, Mr. Jose, continue this exercise.
Yara takes a walk in the morning.
Correct. It takes third person. Thank you. Let's continue with another one. Maybe your turn, please.
My friend read her horse every day.
Option 1 or 2?
Readers. 2.
Okay. Yeah, it's number 2. Rights. Remember? Aunque no
Right.
esté el sujeto, no está el sujeto, él, ella o eso, pues el sustantivo amigo lo reemplaza. My friend, mi amiga, que equivale a decir ella. My friend rides her horse. Okay, Miss Maybe continues. That's the only one. Sorry. Well, give a minute, so let's carry out another exercise, please. Okay, guys, please, everyone click on the link. Click on the link and start the activity. In that activity, you're going to classify or categorize the different kinds of suffixes, s, es, or ies. For this activity, guys, you will have just 2 minutes, 4 minutes. Please read carefully and put in the correct order of the suffixes. 4 minutes. I'm gonna write my email in case you need it. Please, 4 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay, guys, you finished? Okay, let's continue. Give a minute. Okay, guys, so let's continue with the part number 2. In the part number 2, we're going to learn about the adverse of frequency. Adverse of frequency. So basically, we use the adverse of frequency to denotate how often or how many times we carry out certain activities. For example, they always drink tea with lunch. They always drink tea with lunch. As you can see, we have an extra word. In this example, the extra word is always. Always. Okay, now I want you to focus on this part, especially the words in blue color. Blue color. Okay, so I'm going to pick up one student to help me out with this, Miss Vanessa Rodriguez. Could you help me with the sentence number 1 and 2? Or sentences letter A and B.
¿Me escucha?
Yes,
Mister,
yes, tell
voy
me.
a hacer el trabajo con mi abue. Ya regreso, 10 minutos, por favor.
Okay, no problem. Okay, let's continue. Miss Freire Castro, could you please help me? Sentences letter A and B.
Mary and White eat lunch at school.
B.
Mary usually eat lunch at school.
Okay, bring it on. Miss Morales, could you please continue? Letter C and D.
La sexta.
C and D.
Ah, ya,
Letter C and D.
Sí, ya. Just often eats hamburgers. Tia sometimes eat lunch at school.
Okay, thank you. Miss Carranza Rivas, please. Letter E and F.
F. Eva rarely washes her car.
And letter E, la letra E. E.
Tia seldom eats lunch at school.
Okay, so the last one, the letter G, Jay never goes to the zoo. Well, let me go back just a little bit. So we have the first adverb of frequency. As I said earlier, we have an extra word. Tenemos una palabra extra, an extra word. You see? Always. Las palabras que están con azul, a estas palabras se las conocen como adverbios de frecuencia. Básicamente los adverbios de frecuencia nos van a ayudar a denotar cuán a menudo o cuántas veces hacemos tal actividad o cierta actividad. En este caso, la actividad es la que está después de la palabra azul. Eat lunch at school. That is the activity. Eat, el verbo comer, lunch, almuerzo, almorzar. You see? Entonces, la palabra always is an adverb of frequency. Y esta significa siempre. Always. Mary always eat lunch at school. Always, please take your notebook and start writing. Always means siempre. Next one. The next adverb of frequency, usually. Usually means usualmente. Usually. Next one. Often. A menudo. Often. A menudo. Next adverb of frequency, sometimes. Sometimes. Algunas veces. Please your notebook. Sometimes. Algunas veces. Next one. Seldom. De vez en cuando. Seldom. Seldom. Next one. Rarely. Rarely means raramente. And never. Nunca. Never. Nunca. Okay, guys, so this is pretty important to understand. These are the adverbs of frequency. Always, usually, often, sometimes, seldom, rarely, and never. Well, now I want you guys to tell me, can you see where is these adverbs of frequency placed? ¿Puede observar en dónde se han colocado o se han puesto los adverbios de frecuencia? ¿Quién me ayuda?
Antes del verbo.
Ok, está antes del verbo. O también podríamos decir que está después.
Sujeto.
Después del sujeto. También hay otra opción que nos suelen decir que va entre el verbo y el sujeto. Ok, entonces repito, los adverbios de frecuencia básicamente son palabras que nos van a ayudar a describir las actividades diarias, pero como su nombre indica, con cierta frecuencia. ¿Cuán a menudo o cuántas veces hacemos esa actividad? Siempre, usualmente, algunas veces, de vez en cuando, rara vez o nunca. These are the adverbs of frequency. Okay, so now guys, I want you to carry out this activity. As you can see, we have the adverbs of frequency on the right. Always, usually, often, sometimes, seldom, rarely, and never. And then we have the schedule, the week, from Sunday to Saturday. So I need a volunteer to help me to complete this exercise. Okay, Miss Vanessa Morales, thank you.
Leah always feed her dog.
Let's check it out. Yes, always. Why is always? Because it's every day. Lo hace todos los días. Ahí tenemos, pues, el horario, ¿verdad? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Siempre. Always. Let's move on. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Jose Lavalle, could you please complete this exercise for me?
Usually watch TV.
Ok, no, no puedes mezclar. Tal como está ahí el ejercicio, por favor, hazlo.
¿Cómo? Tengo que completar con las palabras de al lado, sí, ¿verdad?
Yes, pero no mezcles, ¿ok? Donde va el espacio en blanco, ahí tienes que colocar un adverbio de frecuencia de acuerdo al horario que ves.
Oh. Yara Sheldon watch TV.
Okay, let's check it out. Correct. Excellent. You see, the week, just we have one single day, solo en un día. So the correct average of frequency is this one. Let's continue. Diana Torres, your turn, please.
A ver. Look. Quality food dinner.
Okay, relax, Miss Diana. Could you please repeat again the exercise?
Look. Often good dinner.
Okay, let's check it out. Okay, it's not often. In this case, it's usually. Como puedo observar, solo un día a la semana no realiza esa acción que es preparar la cena. Lo hace Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Let's move on. Daisy Burgos, could you please help me in this exercise?
Mountain often cook dinner.
Okay. It might be often or sometimes. That's correct for me. Sometimes cooks dinner. Good. Let me stop this for a while. Any questions so far, guys?
No question.
No question, really? Okay, let's practice. We need to practice. Give me a minute, please. Practicamos en un momento. Okay, guys, so before the start of this activity, I want you once again to take your notebook and write the next structure. Please take your notebook and please write the next structure. Escribe su cuaderno, por favor. Esto de aquí. How often do you? How often do you? Please write. Okay? How often means cuán a menudo. How often, cuán a menudo. Okay? And this basically is a question. Al utilizar esta pregunta, pues la otra persona a que se la formula tendrá que utilizar un adverbio de frecuencia, sea always, usually, often, seldom, sometimes, rarely, or never. Let's take a look. For example, in this part, let me edit this part, this PDF. Okay. And there we go. For example, in this part, we can say, how often do you drink coffee? You see the question? How often do you drink coffee? This is a question by using that structure. How often do you drink coffee? How often do you drink coffee? ¿Cuán a menudo bebes café? Yo siempre bebo café. Yo usualmente bebo café. Algunas veces bebo café. Oh, no, no, no. A mí no me gusta. Yo nunca bebo café. So that's the question. How often do you drink coffee? Okay, so what is going to be the activity? The number one. I want you guys to complete the next questions by using the structure, how often do you? You need to complete all of this from here up to here, okay? Please do not send anything to our Telegram group. I want you to complete on your notebook, okay? Complete the questions. For this activity, you will have 2 minutes. Please complete it. 2 minutes. 1 minute. Okay, guys, time to start. There are 12 students today, so I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 students to help me out with these exercises. So the first one is going to be Mr. Alex Moran. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me, Mr. Alex? Mr. Alex gone. Señor Alex se fue. I can't believe it. Jeez. Okay, let me pick up another one. That's gonna be. Okay, let's practice with Miss Ruiz. Winifred, please help me with question number 1 and number 2.
Sería, how often do you wash your clothes?
Yes, number 2.
La segunda,
Number 2, please.
how often do you wash your clothes?
No, the number 2 is watch a video.
How often do you watch a video?
Correct. Very good. Miss Diana Torres, please continues. Number 3 and number 4. 3 and 4.
Dice, how never do you go to a fast food restaurant? Así sería.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct. But remember, the question will start with how often. How often do you go to a fast food restaurant? Please do not say never. Never know. Okay. How often do you go to a fast food restaurant? Please, miss, continue with the number 2. Number 4, sorry.
How always se define, ¿cómo se dice? Always.
No, miss, no ponga en la pregunta, no ponga en la pregunta un adverbio. Simplemente es how often do you.
How often clean?
Do you?
How often do you clean your room?
Correct. That's it. How often do you? Por eso iniciamos con esta parte al inicio. Les dije que por favor escribieran esta parte. How often do you? Okay. Thank you, miss. Let's continue with another activity. That's going to be Mr. Carranza. Could you please continue with the other questions? Mr. Carranza Rivas, please, it's your turn. Your turn. Mr. Carranza, it's your turn. Let me share my screen again. Please, your turn.
Profe, me escribe, me dice que se le fue el internet.
Okay, no problem. Let's move on with another student, Ms. Diana Torres. Could you please complete these two questions for me?
How never go to a dentista.
Don't forget, how often. No pongo un adverbio en la pregunta. How often do you? How often do you? And then you complete. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Diana, again.
How always.
No, don't put an adverb of frequency. No pongo un adverbio de frecuencia al inicio. Observe, usted tiene que hacer esto de aquí. Okay, let me use the tool. No hay adverbios de frecuencia, no podemos poner en la pregunta. Simplemente es how often do you y completa go to a dentist. All right. Now, Miss Diana, read again, please.
How often do you go to dentist?
Correct. Now, you complete this one.
How often no,
Okay.
good news chart.
Okay, complete again, please. De nuevo, por favor. How
often do you go new chats?
Correct. That's it. Okay, Miss Vanessa Morales, please complete the last three sentences.
Okay. How often do you make your breakfast?
Correct. Next one.
How breakfast? How often do you put your first night?
The last one.
How often do you catch a call?
Correct. Yes, that's correct. Now, let's try to identify or understand about these verbs in the complements. Okay. La primera, drink coffee es obviamente beber café. Okay. La segunda, watch your clothes. ¿Qué piensa? ¿Qué será watch your clothes? El verbo watch. ¿Qué será watch?
Lavar.
Lavar tu ropa. Entonces la pregunta sería en nuestro idioma, ¿cuán a menudo lavas tu ropa? Pues si me la hacen a mí, yo diría, I never wash my clothes. I never wash my clothes. Si usted siempre lava su ropa, pues su respuesta sería, I always wash my clothes. ¿Ok? Siguiente. El siguiente verbo que es watch. ¿Qué verbo es este?
Observar.
Observar o ver un video. Entonces la pregunta es, ¿cuántas veces o cuán a menudo ves videos? Pues yo diría algunas veces. I sometimes watch a video. Okay? So, for example, su deber va a ser el siguiente. Please give me a minute. I'm going to explain what you're going to do right now. Ya tenemos las preguntas, ahora vamos a responderlas, cada uno a su propio criterio, utilizando el adverbio de frecuencia que mejor se acople a esa actividad. ¿Cuántas veces o cuán a menudo usted hace esa actividad? Por ejemplo, beber café. Yo pondría I en primera persona. Yo, ¿verdad? I sometimes drink coffee. I sometimes drink coffee. Esta es mi respuesta con mi adverbio de frecuencia. Yo algunas veces bebo café. Si usted nunca lo hace porque no le gusta, pues usted pondría I never drink coffee. ¿Ok? Pero si a usted le gusta, pues usted pondría I always drink coffee. Yo siempre bebo café. I always drink coffee. En la siguiente pregunta, pues tenemos en esta parte lavar tu ropa. ¿Cuán a menudo lavas tu ropa? Pues yo pondría I never wash my clothes. You see? I never wash my clothes. Never. That's my adverb of frequency regarding this question. And the next question was that watch a video. How often do you watch a video? Well, I would say I usually watch a video. I usually watch a video. Okay, and so on. And the last example for you guys is about this question. How often do you go to the fast food restaurant? ¿Cuán a menudo vas a un restaurante? ¿Cuán a menudo vas a un restaurante? Pues yo pondría I rarely go to a fast food restaurant. Rara vez voy a un restaurante. Okay? So that's just gonna be your homework. Este va a ser su deber. El plazo es hasta mañana al mediodía. Okay? Usted me va a responder las preguntas que realizó. La siguiente es limpiar tu cuarto. ¿Cuán a menudo limpias tu cuarto? How often do you clean your room? O la otra, how often do you go to a dentist? ¿Cuán a menudo vas a un dentista? Or, how often do you buy new shoes? ¿Cuán a menudo compras zapatos nuevos? Or, how often do you make your own breakfast? ¿Cuán a menudo haces tu propio desayuno? Or, how often do you cut your fingernails? ¿Cuán a menudo te cortas las uñas? And the last one, how often do you catch a cold? ¿Cuán a menudo te da gripe o pescas un resfriado? Okay, so that's gonna be the homework for you guys.
Tenemos que responder esas 6 preguntas, mister.
Exactly. Utilizando su propio adverbio. Si usted lo hace siempre, usualmente, rara vez, algunas veces, de vez en cuando o nunca. ¿Ok? Esas actividades se van a complementar con su respuesta. Cada uno pues va a tener un adverbio de frecuencia diferente. Tal vez coincidan algunos, pero no todos. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. Mañana horario regular. Okay. Vamos a trabajar con esos adverbios de frecuencia. Su respuesta, yo les voy a formular preguntas y usted me las va a responder utilizando su adverbio de frecuencia. Okay, guys, so I think it's time to say goodbye. See you tomorrow, John ladies. Thank you very much for having me.